I'm just going to say this again. You lost my. No, don't turn around and blame me for it. You lost my permanent residence status to the US because you're the ones that gathered and spread false information about me from unreliable sources. I'm the one that gave you accurate facts and information. Ugh. Oh my god, I've been waiting for that to come up all night. Oh, since I was at the lights on, funny enough, on Cleveland Street in Surrey Hills, crossing the road to go across the coals, I've had this sneeze sitting there waiting to happen. I was like, when is it going to come? Um, you guys, you caused it. You're the ones that started it. Okay, I asked you to stop. The US, I travelled around the US in January and February 2001. My twin sister Amanda Lee Fleming used to live in Stafford, Virginia in 2000 and 2001. America has been my only country that I've ever seen my entire life that I would permanently move to. Never said anything about any other country except for the US. Always had a strong connection with America. So never said anything about relocating to any other country. There's nothing that would like. I don't like Australia. I'm born in Australia through some, what would I say for? Because my there's a saying I want to say here that I'm through, through, terrible circumstances. I'm actually born here, but yeah, no. I had everything planned out and kept having to change because you guys kept interfering. You couldn't even let me sell the condo in Connecticut that I brought with my money so I could then move. Well, all my belongings was in storage still. So the belongings I left behind in America. So I could then purchase the two bedroom, two bathroom large apartment in Atlantic City, 37 South Iowa Avenue, Atlantic City, that actually suited me. You had to make America about therapy when it wasn't. And you guys did. Okay? Because this was all a big scam that you were dragging me into when I'm there going, all I did was apply for a green card to the US. Okay? That place, my health was a lot better in America too. God. 37 South Iowa Avenue, Atlantic City. I would have owned that place outright. Owned it outright. Co-op building it was, not a homeowners association. You want co-ops better than homeowners association. Directly across the road from the Tropicana Casino. It's in a pretty much a male playground. You know, Atlantic City, New Jersey. Okay, close to the ocean, casino environment, 24-hour atmosphere. So it's 24 hours city. Okay, it was amazing. I would have owned it outright and still had 40,000 American saves in the bank. If you didn't interfere in my life in America, I will be living my best life on top of the world with a lot of money in the bank, owning my own apartment outright instead of I'm at the beck and call to a government that I can't stand. And I would still have all my assets, belongings, and be living a great life. You interfered. I called my mum so many times to say help. You didn't help, Carol. You haven't helped since 2015. You keep going off with what you want. I'm there going, I'm trying to sell. Okay, these people are trying to turn this into what they want to. And you still would turn into what you want to. Oh, you couldn't sell because of this. No. I brought an apartment in Norwich, Connecticut, where I looked first to see what the other apartments were being sold for. Because I brought going, okay, this is a start. I need to sell this in a year. So if I sell it for the sake, because I'm only going to use this as in, I'll be there with my dog, I'll work in the area for a year, and I'll start looking. So if I only want to sell it to cover my costs so I can actually buy where I originally want, but I couldn't find anything available, okay, then this is what I need to do. So I looked, I was like, okay, everything's getting sold for well over X amount of dollars. So say my neighbour's place was sold for 140,000, and I'm only asking say 79,000 for mine. My neighbour's place is smaller than mine. You see, so I was doing the investigation first before I went over there. Because as soon as that place was sold, and you did your scams, look, You don't have to be a rocket scientist to see that it was a bullshit what you were doing to stopping me from selling a movie. Okay? Um, so stopping me from living my life where I want to be, where I need to be, that suits me, and forcing me to be in an environment that I don't want to be in, that doesn't suit me, it's not good for my health. I mean, how many times do I have to talk? This is what I love. You got losers that go, oh, because of your injury after work, wouldn't you? This is Stephanie DeSalis that's done this, by the way. Wouldn't you want to be in a cottage in the middle of nowhere? Why? I never was never brought up in an environment that's like that. I was brought up in a built-up area. You think I'm brought up in what? Bushland? Why? I'm not brought up in bushland. Even where my mother lives, which is the most naturist sort of area I've ever seen in my entire life, even where she moved to is not bushland. Why? Why would I want to live in a cottage in the middle of nowhere? I want to live in a 24-hour city. This is the Stephanie Salas that's actually done all this. And she was just a stalker with delusional fantasies. You can pay, now it's gone this far, so you guys got Buckley's. No, and she did, like, seriously, everywhere in the last 11 years, it's like, oh my God. She was told to fuck off in 2006. She popped her head up across social media in October 2015. She comes to the city, she's doing this. It's like, she's not anything to do with me. Or she's a junkie that's a social and support worker. Nothing to do with me. I already explained. The statement that I gave Sutherland Court is accurate. Okay? Knowing of a person is knowing of a person. Okay? And that's it. You know, not friends. Knowing of someone is knowing of a person. Affiliating briefly with a person because you went and brought a coffee and you're a lair that invites strangers to your place. Yeah. Okay, I was in my 20s. Okay? This is absolutely ridiculous. This is forcing me out of my money, assets, and belongings that I worked hard for by an organisation that, or person, group, organisations involved that don't want to be held accountable for what you've cost me, including my green card to the US. And I don't care if I upset your feelings. You have no right to get involved in my life. I'll put it this way. I've completely designed my twin sister and she will be remained designed because of Stephanie DeSalis. Stephanie DeSalis was told to fuck off in 2006. There was no civil words from me towards her again. She popped her head up in October 2015. It wasn't civil. She came and showed up at my place in Sydney. It's like, what the fuck is she doing here? Like, literally, we're talking about almost 10 years ago. She was told to fuck off and have no contact with her. You guys work it out. Because I can guarantee that all this is connected to whether even my upstairs neighbours, housing issue, what's going on in Australia, this crap to do with Giovanni and Abigail Noyce, and all these organisations. We're going to see that if you did a good investigation, it was all connected back to one particular person that's got delusional fantasies for me. Yeah. Amanda's going to stay disowned. She was told to get Stephanie arrested in 2017.